What's up, my good vibe DJ tribe, and welcome to another episode of the DJ Spotlight here on Disc Jockey News TV. After making a move that would change the course of her career, this DJ producer made a jump to a new city, which brought on some unexpected but exciting turn of events. With a busy summer of travels to festivals like Picnic Electronic, Center of Gravity, Shambhala, and Lost Lands, she's explored some new avenues as she finishes up some upcoming music releases for all y'all listening pleasures. She has made some time to sit down and chat with us. Thank you so much for sitting down with us today, Sheevs.
Yo, what's up, girl?
Yeah, I'm so stoked about this interview. I can't wait to hear all about your DJ life. Can you give us a bit of background about your introduction into the industry and how that led you to where you are today?
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to be talking with you and everybody else listening. Thank you. So I moved to Vancouver middle of 2000, actually pretty much 3 years ago. It's my 3-year anniversary that just popped up. And I started going to Nimbus, actually, so music production, audio engineer school. And that really helped like jumpstart what it is that like I knew that I wanted to be doing for the rest of my life, you know, making my best friends there, you know, and meeting just like everybody. There's so many people at that school, you know, that just like led me into a great direction where I knew that I wanted to be going with my career. So that was a good start for me. And then something that I find very important, you know, that like a lot of people ask me, it's just like, oh, how did you like you start out here, you know, like what did you do? And like I just went out and I met people, you know, like going out and making yourself known to the scene is just so important, you know, and a lot of people just don't even think that that should even be a problem. I'm like, well, nobody's going to want to book you if you're not going out to support the scene, supporting their nights, you know. And it's like, that's all I did, you know. So I kind of like took everything in steps, you know. I met people, and then I started going out and I started like making the right friends and making myself known in the scene that this is what I wanted to be doing, you know. There are some things like the whole production side, like I'm a DJ turned producer, you know, so it's just like I might have done things like backwards or differently compared to a lot of people, you know, and like now I'm getting into production. Now I'm like getting what I have in my head out on my computer, on the keyboard, you know. It's just like now that part is like coming and it's very fun, you know. Like I mean, like from going to just playing like DJing in my bedroom in Vancouver to taking the main clubs and like festivals like across Canada. I was like, it's very cool. It's definitely something that I've been looking forward to for years. So it's definitely not an overnight thing. It's something you got to work hard for. Mm-hmm. You just got to keep going, because if you do, that's what's going to pay off.
Absolutely. I love that you mentioned that it's not an overnight thing. I think people get that really twisted. They see people DJing and they're like, oh my God, like, how did they get that? I want that thing. They seem like they're an overnight success and they don't know really what's going on behind the scenes, like you said.
Oh, they just get to party all the time. It's so much fun. I'm like, okay, you try it. I just want to drink water all the time now and coffee on Sundays. Like, help me.
I love it. And obviously what you're doing is working because you're playing amazing music festivals. One of my favorite you hit up and performed at, I saw the video footage, like absolutely amazing. You played Picnic Electronic out in Montreal. Can you tell us a bit about that experience and what you learned from that?
Oh my gosh. Picnic was such a fun time. I love my East Coast crew so much. Like I was introduced to Concrete Montreal probably I think in like October, November-ish of 2017. And I submitted a mix and they wanted to book me for a show. So I was like, I'm going to get myself there and it's going to happen. And then I was supposed to play for Bot. Some complications happened. So I ended up opening for Church. And like couple of my best dudes, you know, like church, such good people. I love them. Some of my best friends. Jeff is amazing. And ended up, I guess, like they just really enjoyed my set. So they were just like, yo, we would love for you to come back for picnic. We have a day at picnic this summer and we would love for you to be here. And I'm just like, great, that's good. Cause like with my new branding, it's just like, I was kind of like wanting to not like be out of the house scene because I love house music, you know, like my heart is with house, you know, and I will never not enjoy playing it and even making it, you know. But I am obviously into the heavier type of bass and weird experimental bass kind of music right now with like playing and making, you know. So it's nice to have like a separate family across the country, you know, and then I get booked for like picnic, you know, and just being there for that experience, it was beautiful. You know, like it was a beautiful Sunday and there are thousands of people and I'm just playing music with my friends, you know, like it was such a good feeling. Yeah, Cody was great. Cody was headlining the day that I played and it was very fun.
I love how present you are in that experience. Like you're there, you appreciate it, you're with your friends, you're fully invested in what it is that you're doing, that I think like a lot of us can get caught up and we forget in the traveling to just be present. Another thing that you mentioned that really stood out to me is like you've moved musically in your career. You went from house to like more this bass influence and you're trying to be smart about that branding. I really appreciate that and can relate to that because I was actually in drum and bass and moved over to house.
Started out, yeah.
Yeah, and actually
we did opposites.
Yeah.
Like, right? Yeah. I know that about you.
And so with that being said, with those experiences, what do you think has been like one of the biggest lessons you've had through this little, maybe even just from the jump to your little hometown to Vancouver?
It is so much, you know. I mean, there is a whole lot happening in Vancouver compared to where I'm from, you know. I mean, like I come from like a city where it's just like oil and gas, you know. I mean, like that's where I'm from, you know. Like I mean, people make good money there, you know, but that's just it's like for them. That's not for me. You know, like I had a company up there, like we had a couple events, you know, like we booked some shows and it was just like, it was great, but I couldn't really see a future for myself there, you know? And I mean, like, that's fine. You know, like it's home for a lot of people. It was for me, but it's not that anymore. And moving here was 100% the best thing that I ever did for myself because like ever since I moved here, it's just been like a steady incline of everything that I've ever wanted, you know, and that's because I'm actually able to go for what it is that I want to do, you know, like some people have, like everybody has a different path in life, you know, and like I'm just following mine.
Mm-hmm.
And like to be able to say that like I'm happy like every day feels really great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I feel like a lot of people like take their lives for advantage, like, you know, like take advantage of being happy or even working, you know, because I mean, like being a struggling artist in Vancouver is pretty much, I feel like how everybody feels.
I really appreciate the fact that you took control of the situation. You're like, okay, so I can't really do what I want here, but I can make a risk, like take this risk, go to another city, and you just went for it and you took control of the situation. I think that is so wonderful because we hear people make a lot of excuses. I can't move because of this. I have my job here. Well, maybe you're in your safe job, but if you're in that job for the rest of your life and you're not happy, was it worth not taking that risk in the first place? So I love that you just went for it. You're also a producer. We talked a little bit about this. Can you tell us a bit about your workflow, what that looks like and how it's changed throughout the years?
Oh, wow. So, you know, when I first started DJing, like I was just learning how to mix, like I had no idea about any kind of music production, like whatsoever. Even when I started going to school, like in 2016, like I was so new. It was terrifying. Walking into the studio, like Roger Swan was my teacher, and he mixed like an engineered, like chaos, like how is that my teacher? Yeah, it's very intimidating, but like also so cool that I got to learn from this human being, like, because before that, like I had no idea even what an SSL console was, and I'm like, okay, cool. Now I can navigate myself around that, but not only that, like I can use a DAW, like I know how to use Pro Tools. I know how to use Ableton, and it was just like, it was a very steep learning curve for me for months, even like this year, I kind of didn't really focus on making music because I was working really focused on the label that I work with, Emengy, and like we've had some really big things happen this year. So it was nice to take some time, like I guess away from myself to like put in with that. But now realizing like I love doing that. I love being that person. But what makes me most happy and makes me feel like the most fulfilled is working on music and like writing music and making music and learning about making music. That is like the most important thing to me. So it's like now I'm really getting more into it, and like taking piano lessons and like just like even watching more tutorials, because like nobody's going to teach you how to like do anything if you don't want to do it, so it's just like, even when you don't want to do it, just do it, because that's when you're going to be the most successful. And just kind of like getting out of that, oh, hey, it's the weekend, it's time to party. No, it's not. It's just like, not if you want to be that person, not if you want to be the person behind the decks who everybody is going to see, like that's what I want. I just want to change people's lives with the music that I make and the way it makes me feel. So that's all I can hope for.
I feel like as DJs, we have kind of an advantage when it comes to making music in the studio, especially if we understand what DJs like to play. And I really like the fact that you said, like sound design, like you love learning. How do you find that goes into your workflow when you are in the studio making music?
Hard as heck. It's very hard. It's very difficult. And it's so intimidating, it's just like when I don't know what I'm doing, it makes me very frustrated. And it's like, I just want to give up. That's definitely something that I have been struggling with this year, like even last year, it's like, that's why I haven't put out music in so long. And like, now I'm just kind of understanding that like, I'm never going to get better if I'm not going to put my stuff out.
Yes.
So it's like, just get it out there, let the people hear what they want to hear. Let them hear what I've been making. And I have some music coming out soon, so I'm very excited, probably like right when this comes out. So hope you check it. It's going to be great.
I love that you say that too, because if you don't put yourself out there, you don't get the feedback. If you don't get the feedback, you don't know where to improve.
How do you learn?
Yeah.
I mean, like, how do I ever get better if I don't express what I love doing, like what I'm doing, it's just like, I can't just hide it from myself forever, like I have to share it.
Exactly.
And even if people don't like it, it's like, okay, cool. Like I'm not offended by that. Everybody can have their own opinion, like as long as it's like making me happy in this moment, then that's great. But I know it's very hard to, even for me, to share my music with people. I just like, it's hard to be like, this is my heart and my soul. This is everything that I've been working on for months. Here it is. It's just like being naked, I think, in front of people. Honestly, that's how I feel. And obviously that's terrifying as heck, but I'm not saying I want to be naked in front of people. I just have my music.
Just trying to get you people to relate.
Oh, for sure.
I can definitely appreciate that. I know where you're coming from. I think a lot of artists can relate to that experience of just feeling so vulnerable, because even though that feedback can be so helpful, it can also like just cut us to our core. I really like what Joel West said about feedback. Like he'll ask people, so like, is there anything specific that you want to hear? And it's like, do you want me to tell you about your hi-hat? Like, what is it you want to know?
Good.
And I find that so much more helpful where you're like, okay, what can I honestly handle today so I can keep moving forward?
Agreed.
I really, really so much appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today. I wanted to end off the interview asking you about like any upcoming projects, either releases or shows that you really want people to know about or check out.
Yes. So I've got some, like I was saying earlier, I've got some new music coming out. Probably by the end of October. I don't have like any release dates. I'm not doing an EP once I'm done my music and it's mixed and mastered, which I'm also trying to do by myself. So if it sounds terrible, I'm only going to get better, you know? October 26th, I have a show at the Waldorf with Femme Fatale, Damn Night. Maybe we can cut that part out.
We're just gonna like put some links to our page and then you can go check it all out.
Perfect. And High Etiquette, you know?
Yeah.
We got Kilma and Colt Cuts headlining, which I'm so excited for because I've been, after the summer that I just had, you know, I was opened up to a lot of different types of music that I didn't know resonated so well with me, and it does. And I'm so excited to be branching out and even making some new stuff that I can finally play during like my live shows, because it's not like house, you know, like I'm not making house music right now. I'm making bass, weird shit that fucking punches you right in the fucking soul. Like that's all I want to do is just take your soul. I want to take your soul and I want to make it feel so good with my music, you know? And I get to do that on October 26th, 9 p.m. So come check that out.
Yes.
Aside from that, I am not really taking any more shows because I just really want to hide away in my studio and make music. Like, I don't care about going out at all anymore. Like, I'm over it.
Well, this is the perfect time.
Book me still.
Well, yeah, she plans to do a little cross Canada tour. So promoters, make sure you hit her up. Well, yeah, you can hit us up. We'll just all go together.
All in one, because then we can make it a cross Canada thing. Yeah.
We'll just some, like sponsors, like some kind of Red Bull.
I get a tattoo everywhere I go. Tattoo artist, hit me up.
Love it. The tattoo tour.
I fuck with that.
Yeah. So we're going to leave links below so that you can check out all our awesome work. And yes, you absolutely deserve a break and a break to go in the studio.
I took a 6-week vacation this year.
Yeah.
And literally after 2 weeks, I was like, I just want to be at home sitting in front of a computer working, you know, like I can't, like, I went to India, you know, and it was beautiful. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed my time there, but it was too long.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I just want to work. I'm not ready for vacation. I don't need that shit right now. If I'm not working, I don't need to do it.
No, I totally feel you on that. That's when you know that you are in the ultimate career. I know I watch like Flava D. I watch stories all the time, and she's constantly making new music. She's in the airport. She's on the plane. She's going to India. She's like, hey, do you have any like Indian music out here you want me to remix? And she's doing like a freaking amazing track like within a few hours. And I remember reading this story about she went to send her music over to like the music engineer that masters her music, and they're like, there's nothing for me to do. Like this is fine. This is ready to go out. And
it's so cool,
like,
right?
How inspiring is that? Like you've got these big famous artists that are, of course, sending their music out to professional mastering studios, and then eventually they're like, you don't need us anymore.
That's the ultimate goal, you know? Like if you can produce a track, you know, like that's amazing. But being able to like engineer it is like a whole nother level. But some people don't even know how to do that. They just like make shit and then they send it off to people, you know? And I mean, like, to each their own, you know, like that's cool. But I love learning about sound so much that I will be doing it myself 100% all the time. I'm only going to learn to like be better, you know, like creating the soundscape for a movie, you know, or like a TV show. Like that is like goals. You know, when I was at Nimbus, the guy who created all the sounds for Stranger Things came in. And I remember sitting there in the back row, and he just played the first episode. He played what he made, you know, and he had the Pro Tools freaking file open. And I'm like, literally making these sounds. And the guy in the front row is like, can you turn the volume down, please? It's too loud. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Don't ever tell that man to turn it down. I was like, you get out. Get out if that hurts your ears, because I don't have time for that. But it was so cool. That is something that inspires me. Oh my gosh, I have to say another thing. When I first started going to Nimbus, I met my best friend, currently still, Kentia, you know, and she is in a band, and she is an amazing jazz girl. So good. Her and I took up the opportunity to create the soundscape for LaSalle College for Vancouver Fashion Week. You know, and I mean, like, we got to create 6 different songs for 6 different designers, you know, like we got to create a story for these designers as their models got to walk down the runway. I'm like, yo, I never thought that I would be on a runway because of my music, you know, like I have long legs. I thought it'd be modeling, you know, but I am on a runway because of my music. I'm like, that is the coolest thing ever. You know, I get to go to festivals and build stages. I get to go and play at said festivals and work at other festivals. Like, I'm doing everything that I said I wanted to do, you know, and it's like, you can do everything that you want to do if you just do it. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
And people think it's so hard to just, oh my gosh, I watch your life through Instagram and through Facebook. I'm like, why don't you just go have one?
I love that. Why don't you just go have a life? Get off my Instagram stories and go have a life. But you know, if it inspires you, then
we all do it. I do it, but I mean, like, I love everything that I do every day, and I'm not gonna regret living on this earth at all, because I'm gonna do something that I love every single day. I'm not gonna wait and make a lot of money right now and do things that make me unhappy, because why? When I can
it's a rhetorical question, people.
Yeah. Why do it? Why do things happen? You know? Before I moved here, I was working in a liquor store, you know? And I mean, like I tried to give it my all, but I just, obviously it wasn't flourishing. And I know I wasn't giving my best, because it's like, I don't love that. But now I do, so it's good.
Now you are being that example that you needed, that
I hope so.
Seems to need. Yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us. I know you got to make some music, and I got to record another interview. People don't know this, but I record like interview after interview after interview.
Girl, you are on one.
I'm just, gotta do this when my baby comes home.
There you go.
For the rest of y'all, make sure you let us know in the comments below anything that really stood out for you. And as always, don't let no one kill your vibes.